Hey, you did it. You found it. You found the podcast version of the show. It's Writer Radio. Here are the things you need to know. We stream live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Time at writerradio.com. 2, you can find every episode on YouTube, youtube.com/@writerradio. We're on Spotify, same name, Writer Radio. We are on Twitter or X @BradWriter, BradRiter. We're on Instagram @Writer Radio. There's a group now, Writer Radio Facebook group. Go there, find that, follow that, like it, whatever you have to do. We've got a phone number. You can send texts, leave voicemail, 716-288-5246. Email, bradwriter@gmail.com. You don't need to memorize this. It can all be found at writerradio.com. That's the hub. But those are the places. Thanks for listening. Please tell a friend. Please share. That's how we grow. Glad to have you on board to the podcast version of Writer Radio. Let's do it. It's 11 minutes after 10 already. I feel like the show's over. Good night, everyone. No, I'm just kidding. It's the morning. It's still the morning. Multiple guests. Hell of a day. Got to figure out what's going on tomorrow, too. We'll make a plan together, you and I. It's Writer Radio episode 144. 144. 44 of them from my house. First 100 from a radio station. We're approaching half of the number of shows I did at the station, but just here. It's going very quickly. We had a request there to play a New York City-themed song for a car full of people. Let's say, a car full of us heading to New York City. What do you say about playing a New York City theme song? So I played NYC by Steve Earle. The request came in like 30 seconds before I was going to start talking. I was like, you know what? We could play another 3.5-minute song. Lots of New York ideas. The other thing, too, is, like, how badly did you need me to stop playing music so I could talk to you about banana bread? Like, I wrote down the opening segment. So, famously, whatever. I have said many times, I have the whole show plotted out except for the first segment, because the first segment, is just whatever falls out of my mouth during the first segment. But today I had a plan. And the two things I wrote down for the first segment, this is so bad. Like, you might turn off the show and never listen again if you saw how stupid my planning is. First segment, all I wrote down was banana bread and then a slash and then shoulder. I'm going to start with shoulder. This might just be a product of being old, but my arm doesn't work today. It works. It's absolutely killing. It's as if I got punched at the very top of my arm, just below the shoulder, like upper bicep, we'll say, or like bicep, tricep, where they meet. As if I got punched 144 times while I was asleep, because I woke up and my arm is shot. Good news is my wife went to school to be a massage therapist. She no longer is practicing. She's no longer licensed, but I don't look for a license when I need my body fixed. And I just don't care. So I actually had to go to her. Like, can you fix my arm? I'm like, I don't need the 45-minute version. Just like the 2-minute version. Can you make it so it works? And she did. She's a magician. And so my right arm is a little bit better than it was a couple hours ago when I got up. But, oh, my God. I don't know. It just, slept on it wrong kind of thing. But it's, I don't know. I've done the slept on it wrong thing where, like, your neck is kind of stiff or something. This is like, it really, like I got shot or, as I said already, punched repeatedly in the same spot in my arm. Ow. It hurts. But I didn't plan, when I went to sleep, I didn't plan on waking up and talking about my shoulder hurting because I didn't know that was going to happen. I did want to talk to you briefly about banana bread, which is one of the greatest things to ever grace our planet. There are a lot of things to like about banana bread. Number one is the smell of banana bread cooking. Is there anything better than that smell? I would say no. No, there's not. So there's that. But it is a food that requires an incredible amount of patience. So I've never made banana bread. I don't know what it entails. I just know that we'll have a pile of bananas sitting on the little countertop between our fridge and our pantry thing. And they'll be black and gross. And I want nothing to do with them. And when I want to throw them away because they look terrible, my wife will say, I'm going to make banana bread. And then I say, okay, I'll leave them. That's fine. That's fine by me. Banana bread went into the oven. Let's just say at 8. I don't even know what time it was. Maybe 9 o'clock, 9:30. I think she put it in. It was late. But, within 10 minutes of it baking, it smells like banana bread. And now there's nothing in the world that you want more than banana bread. But you are so, so far from eating that banana bread. So I remember asking, like, oh, wow, that smells great. When can we eat it? And she's like, Sunday. It's not quite that, but pretty close. It's like it takes an hour in the oven. You got to preheat the oven. Then it takes an hour in the oven. Then it has to sit for an hour before you're even allowed to cut it. So the decision was made last night that although you're smelling this for 2.5 hours and you want it badly, tomorrow is when you get to eat it. So I did wake up with like a broken arm, but an intense desire to go eat banana bread, and I did. And it was great. But while I was thinking about how much it sucked that I was smelling banana bread and couldn't eat banana bread last night, and thinking about how you really got to wait. It's like a delayed gratification type of situation, right? Ooh, that smells good. Ooh, I want it. Oh, you can't have it for 2 more hours. And then 2 hours turns into 8 hours or 9 hours because I had to sleep, and then I could eat it. But it's not just that, because you can't use regular bananas for banana bread. You have to use old, crappy bananas. Old, beat-up black bananas, apparently. I don't know. I've never made it. I don't know what it entails. I don't know anything about it. I just know that sometimes my wife makes it, and I like eating it. But I also know that, like, you have to, not only do you have to wait 2 hours from the time you put it in the oven till the time you're able to cut it and eat it, you got to wait weeks just to have your bananas turn terrible so that they become great. And it's a weird process. I looked up banana bread on Wikipedia because I didn't feel like getting into banana bread recipes because they weren't going to. I just want to know, like, what's going on? Like, how long do you have to wait? Maybe I'll Google that. But the banana bread Wikipedia page is woefully underserved by society. There's almost nothing here. I mean, I learned that February 23rd is National Banana Bread Day in the U.S. In the Philippines, it's usually called banana cake. But that's like all that's in here. I'm going to read you the entirety of the banana bread Wikipedia page. Just somebody's got to jump in on this. This is the People's Encyclopedia. We can do anything we want with the banana bread Wikipedia page. And my God, no one is taking advantage of it at all. It's just sitting there. So here's what it says about banana bread. It's a type of sweet bread or cake made from mashed bananas. It's often a moist and sweet quick bread, but some recipes are yeast raised. That's it in the intro. Here's the history of banana bread. Then there's a list of variations, and then it ends. The whole page ends. I've never seen a shorter Wikipedia page, aside from maybe like for an offensive lineman who played for 2 years in the NFL or something like that. Those guys usually don't have much. But banana bread is just being heavily disrespected by society here. All right, here's the history of banana bread, just to get you caught up. John Fuller's going to join me, and so is Ben Turnbull, one very regular guest and one that's been on a couple times. John will be on to talk about not banana bread, but football. We're going to talk about the UB Bulls, who open their season 2 weeks from today. Holy crap, we're there. We're 2 weeks from the season. I'm slightly distracted from football season because my fantasy draft is this weekend. And that's a big weekend for me. One of my favorite things that I do ever, and I missed it last year. Last year was the 25th anniversary season. It was a big production, and I couldn't go. So I was home because it was on my wife's birthday, and I didn't even try it. I didn't even broach the concept of, yeah, I know it's your birthday, but I'm going to go hang out with my idiot friends. They're not idiots. They're cool. You'll hear Ben. Ben's one of them. Ray's one of them. Ray Walter, the great Ray Walter, the honorable and great Ray Walter. He and I and our buddy Dan will be heading down the thruway tomorrow to go to the track. We're going to be at the track. This does mean something for the show. I got to figure out what that means for the show. You're going to get either me on the thruway with Ray and Dan. That's a possibility. I'll talk to Ray later about Wi-Fi opportunities in his vehicle. But if he's got one of those fancy cars that comes with the internet, maybe we'll just do a show live from the road. Just be hauling ass down 90. Maybe. Maybe it'll be a pre-recorded thing. I'm sure some portion will be pre-recorded. Maybe it'll be like a greatest hits show, a best of type of. I'm not positive. Scott Wilson is usually on the show on Fridays at 11. I don't think that's the right thing to like. Maybe we'll record something. Maybe we'll play old Scott. We'll play Scott from Monday. I'm not positive. Tomorrow's going to be a little goofy because I'm on the road during this exact time slot. I'll be, where are we? I'm leaving at like 8. So I'll be beyond Syracuse at this point. Right around, let's say right around now I'll be in Syracuse, or close. Just before it, just after it. We say we leave at 8. That might be 8:15. If it's 8:15, then yeah, we're just, Syracuse is about 2 hours. We're hitting it. Depending on the speed with which the honorable Ray Walter can get us down the thruway. I feel like he can go as fast as he wants, right? As a judge? Judges can drive as fast as they want, I think. I don't know. I'll talk to her. We'll find out tomorrow. Anyway, here's the history of banana bread. Bananas appeared in the U.S. Take a guess. When do you think bananas showed up in the U.S.? I'll let you think about this. This is my favorite kind of trivia now, where there's no calling in or buzzing in. It's just there's a question. Hold on. Got to clear my throat. What's going on here? There we go. All right. There's a question, and then I just pause a little bit, and then I answer it for you, and you get to play along. That's how most people play trivia anyway. That's how you play Jeopardy when you watch on TV, right? You don't need a buzzer. You just watch, and then you guess, and then you see if your guess was right. All right. When do you think banana bread, excuse me, when do you think bananas, the fruit, the bananas, when did they appear in the United States? Now, it does not explain how they appear. I might have to go to the banana Wikipedia page next because the banana bread page is pretty skimpy on details, to be quite honest. Pretty disappointing wiki page here. 1870s. No bananas before the Civil War. Does that sound right to anyone else? That sounds ridiculous to me. Abe Lincoln never ate a banana? Come on. All right, bananas appeared in the U.S. in the 1870s, but it took a while for them to appear as ingredients in desserts. What's the holdup, America? Banana bread recipes emerged in cookbooks across North America when baking powder became available in grocery stores when? The 1930s. Some food historians, what do you do for a living? I'm a food historian. Bet you make a killing as a food historian. A food historian with a podcast. Like that's tip of the iceberg. The peak. The peak in American professions is food historian / podcaster. All right, food historians believe banana bread was a byproduct of the Great Depression, as resourceful housewives did not wish to throw away overripe bananas. Is that what we call them when they're black? Overripe? I bet you didn't expect banana talk, hot banana talk today on Writer Radio, did you? Well, here it is. Others believe banana bread was developed in corporate kitchens to promote flour and baking soda products. Okay. Banana bread experienced a surge in popularity in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic lockdowns. Is that true? I remember sourdough being a thing. I'm going to make my own sourdough. I make sourdough bread. I'm going to blog about it. Oh, God, we were all so stupid 5 years ago, weren't we? Remember how dumb we were? All right, in the Philippines, banana bread is usually called banana cake. That's quite the plot twist there. It's like bananas appeared in the 1870s. Nobody cooked them until the 1930s. 2020 was a big year for banana bread. Oh, and in the Philippines, it's called cake. Cool web page. This page stinks. In the Philippines, it's usually called banana cake. But it's probably not called banana cake. It's called the Filipino version of banana cake. They're not speaking Filipino and then tossing in the words banana cake. Yeah. It was introduced during the American colonial period of the Philippines, as the Philippines became a top banana supplier. February 23rd is National Banana Bread Day in the United States. That's it. That's the whole page. Well, it lists variations. Want to hear variations? Banana raisin bread, banana nut bread, often featuring chopped nuts such as walnuts, pecans, or almonds. Chocolate chip banana bread, featuring chocolate chips. Banana bread muffins, that's just tiny banana bread. Banana crumble bread. Okay. Vegan banana bread, made without eggs or dairy products. Sure. Blueberry banana bread or other fruits such as raspberry or orange to add additional flavors. And then there are 4 pictures. We've got banana bread, we've got chocolate chip banana bread, we've got blueberry banana bread, and then we've got Filipino banana bread, often called banana cake. That's it. That's the whole page. I'm going to go on the bananas Wikipedia page, see what they have to say. Because I'm very curious. Like, the opening premise of the banana bread Wikipedia page is that bananas appeared in the U.S. in 1870s. In the 1870s. What does that mean? How'd they appear? All right, looking up bananas. It's an elongated edible fruit, botanically a berry. A banana's a berry? What the hell's going on? Produced by several kinds of large tree-like herbaceous flowering plants. So to be clear, banana trees aren't trees, and bananas are berries? Why? The fruit is variable in size, color, and firmness, but usually elongated and curved. That's what she said. And with soft flesh, rich in starch, covered with a peel, which may have a variety of colors when ripe. It grows upward in clusters near the top of the plant. Almost all modern, edible, seedless, cultivated bananas come from 2 wild species. I'm not going to try to pronounce them, don't care, or hybrids of them. Some are native to tropical Indo-Malaya and Australia. They were probably domesticated in New Guinea. Yeah, probably. Who wasn't? They're grown in 135 countries, primarily for their fruit, to a lesser extent to make banana paper and textiles. While some are grown as ornamental plants, the world's largest producers of bananas in 2020 were, name the 2 countries. Name the 2 countries that were the largest producers of bananas in 2022. I'm going to guess they're probably still the 2 largest. India and China. China. Which together accounted for about 26% of total production. Bananas are eaten raw or cooked in recipes varying from curries to banana chips, fritters, fruit preserves, or simply baked and steamed. I'm going out for dinner tonight. I'm going to order some steamed bananas. Worldwide, there's no sharp distinction between dessert bananas and cooking plantains. This distinction works well enough in the Americas and Europe, but it breaks down in Southeast Asia, where many more kinds of bananas are grown and eaten. Yeah, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. The distinction works well enough in the Americas and Europe, but the banana distinction breaks down in Southeast Asia because there are just too many kinds. The term banana is also applied to other members of the Musa genus, such as the scarlet banana, the pink banana, snow banana. What are we talking about? Banana plantations can be damaged by parasitic nematodes and insect pests and fungal and bacterial diseases. Now we're getting gross. One of the most serious being Panama disease, which is caused by a fungus. This and black sigatoka threaten the production of Cavendish bananas, the main kind eaten in the Western world. Plant breeders are seeking new varieties. These are difficult to breed, given that commercial varieties are seedless. To enable future breeding, banana germplasm is conserved in multiple gene banks around the world. What is going on with bananas? This is more than I wanted to talk about. I'm curious about how bananas arrived in the United States. I'm just going to look that up. and then we're going to talk to John Fuller. We're going to learn a little bit more about bananas, what the hell's going on with them, and then we'll move on. Okay? I'm going to look up how did bananas come to the United States. Okay. Early imports by individuals like Lorenzo Dowbaker in the 1870s who used innovative shipping and refrigeration to transport them from where? Not India, not China. Where did our original bananas come from in the 1870s? Post-Civil War, suddenly we got this new yellow thing called a banana. Yellow on the outside, white on the inside. Jamaica is the answer. Jamaica. They came from Jamaica. According to the AI Google thing. And this could be totally wrong. You could have told me that bananas predated people in the United States, and I would have said, oh, okay, that's fine. These initial efforts were the foundation for large fruit corporations, which developed extensive networks of steamships, railroads, and ice-cooled infrastructure to create the large-scale banana trade and make them a staple fruit for Americans. I want to be done talking about bananas right now, but I also find it hard not to click on a link that says the improbable rise of the banana, America's most popular fruit. Very tempted. I'm going to leave that for now because I want to read a little bit more from the AI thing here. First imports. Early 1800s, individual merchants began shipping plantains from the Caribbean, but these were considered a novelty and not yet a significant commodity. Technological hurdles. Harvesting ripe bananas and the lack of refrigeration meant they spoiled quickly during long journeys, limiting their trade potential. Also leading to banana bread. You need the bananas to be shot in order to be good and creamy for banana bread purposes. At least as well as I understand. I just started thinking about banana bread last night when I was smelling it and couldn't eat it. And here we are. And now you're stuck with it. This is what it's like to live in my head. Banana bread, nuts or no nuts. Don't care. I will just eat it. I never made it. I'm reading from the chat now. I've never made it. I've only eaten it. It's never been not great. Want about 14 seconds in the microwave if it's not like today. 14 seconds in the microwave. I don't like round numbers for microwave time. I always do that. 2 minutes and 13 seconds or a minute 4. I'm insane. I don't know. Somewhat on topic. Carrot cake is elite. Carrot cake goes in the same category to me as cheesecake, which is I will never request it. I will never think that I want it. I will never think that I like it. And then there it is. And good God, it's so much better than I remembered. Every single time. Carrot cake, cheesecake, both of them. It could be super plain, like New York cheesecake, or it could be some fancy thing with fruit and flavors and all this stuff. It's going to be way better than I thought it would every single time. I don't know how cheesecake, I'm 50 years old. I don't know how it's been surprising me for 42 years, but it has. When I was real little, it was gross. Just the name cheese and cake don't belong in a word together. Never going to eat that. Then eventually got convinced to try it, and then it's the best. Every time it's amazing. And carrot cake's the same thing. Why would I make cake out of carrots? Well, it's not about the carrots. It's about the spices and stuff that's going on there and the fluffy moistness. Carrot cake, cheesecake, both better than expected every single time I've ever eaten either one of them. You want carrot cake? Nah, not really. You sure? Here, just have a look. Oh, my God, it's so good. That happens every time with both. Is there anything else? Just some guy brought him over from Jamaica. All right, I'm clicking on the improbable rise of the banana, America's most popular fruit, real quick. Then I'm going to play a song, and John Fuller's going to be on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the song. I'm going to get John on. And then while I'm waiting for the song to end, I'll read about banana bread. Or, excuse me, not about the bread. No, I need a membership to read this article. I'm not subscribing. Oh, really? Just $5 to become a member and read this article about friggin' bananas? Get lost. Piss off, Internet. Not doing it. I'll play a song instead. My God, why is everything just Weezer lately? I got excited about Weezer the other day. I put a whole bunch of Weezer songs in here. And then they stayed, and then I put a bunch of other stuff, and that all got deleted, and it just went back to Weezer. So I'm just loaded with Weezer. Did I play So Lonely by the Police yesterday? Because it's in here. I would play that unless I played it yesterday. I'm trying to find my sheet from yesterday. Hold on. Sorry, guys. This is all just, I need to play something to talk to call Fuller. No, I don't think I played So Lonely. I'm going to play So Lonely by the Police, and then we'll have John Fuller. I'm not lonely. I feel fine. Shoulder hurts. I have banana bread. Going to Saratoga. All good. We're all good. It's episode 144 of Writer Radio, August 14th, 2025. Stay tuned. Be right back with our senior Philly correspondent, John Fuller. I will say two things about the band The Police. One, I love them. Two, no one is more repetitive than The Police. How do you feel, Sting? Do you feel lonely at all? Did you mention that a couple times? Or 1,000 times in a row in the last minute and a half? John Fuller's been on hold since I told him you're up in 1 minute and 34 seconds. And in that minute and 34 seconds, Sting had an opportunity to say anything he wanted, and he just kept telling us how lonely he was for a minute 34. So lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely. Sting, how do you feel? So lonely, so lonely, so lonely, so lonely. That's all we got. Granted, I spoke for 35 minutes about banana bread to start the show, and then I got messages from people about banana bread. We got to play the Fuller thing. Hold on, where is it? Intro, rejoin. Where's your name? There he is. Oh, I got you in blue. Oh, I didn't pop the thing up. Hold on. Here it comes. You're coming, John. I promise.
Let's check in with Writer Radio's senior Philly correspondent, John Fuller.
I can't play the Rocky theme anymore because then I can't post it online without editing it out, and it just doesn't work. So I have to keep the music and the talking totally separate. Hi, John.
Hello. It's okay.
Sorry about the Rocky theme.
It's in my head, so don't worry.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Here it comes. So, all right, I brought you on the show, one, because I like you because it's fun. Two, because this morning it occurred to me that we are 2 weeks from kickoff. We are going. 2 weeks from now, we'll be in Minnesota. There's a game, so I wanted to check in with you about that. And then the third thing is that we watch. So I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe a year and a half ago, maybe a year ago, something like that. You convinced me and my kids that we would like the Mission Impossible movies series, the whole thing. I guess it's more than a year ago because we saw 7 in the theater, and that would have been at least a year plus ago. So however long it was, maybe 2 years ago, you convinced me, and we have since watched all the movies, and we love them. Zach is my oldest kid. He's 13. He has very strong opinions about things. He likes to rank things. He told me recently that despite everything that we believe, that the first Mission Impossible is clearly the best of the Mission Impossible movies. And he convinced me yesterday, right shortly after the show yesterday, Zach, Nate, and I sat and watched the first Mission Impossible again, and I think he's right.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, obviously, it sets the stage for the whole series.
Yes.
And that's where you get introduced to all the characters. I will say it's not. If it's on, I'm watching it. It's not my favorite. I think 6 is my favorite of all of them.
Yeah.
But because that's just, I mean, the action in that movie is incredible. The helicopter chase. I mean, it's so ridiculous. But
it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
They're all amazing, and they get crazier. But his point is that I think, like, by the time we're into 6, 7, 8, you're laughing most of the time. Like, I can't believe they just did that. Like, this is ridiculous. It's crazy. The first one, yeah, there's the mask stuff a little bit, but it's like there's more of a followable plot.
That is true.
The movie actually kind of makes sense. And one of the hallmarks, one of the things I really like about the late ones, is that they don't make sense, and it's just insane. But that's not where it started. It started with what was kind of a viable movie. The other thing I forgot about is, I just saw the newest one I've watched as recently as a month ago, let's say. it's 1996 Tom Cruise. Ethan Hunt is a young, virile dude, as opposed to kind of an old guy. Or like, Tom Hanks, your face looks kind of weird. Like that's all gone, and it's just young. It's essentially, I mean, it's 10 years later, but it's Maverick. It's Top Gun Tom Hanks, except he's Ethan Hunt, and it's like, oh yeah, I forgot how awesome he was. I very much appreciate that he's still doing what he's doing. But the young version of Tom Hanks is just, or Tom Hanks, good God, Tom Cruise. That'd be crazy. Tom Hanks as Ethan Hunt would be crazy. That's not that different from the Da Vinci Code, right? Like he was kind of, as Robert Langdon. Young Tom Cruise is just cooler. So I don't know. Zach convinced me. It's certainly in the conversation. It's not a crazy proposal to say that the first one is, in fact, the best one.
I don't disagree. I will say this. I have always appreciated the introduction of the Simon Pegg character.
Yes.
Which maybe came in 3 or 4, and he wasn't in the early
noticeably
one.
missing. Yep.
Yeah. So, and he kind of brings that the comic relief, I think, which makes them a little, not that I'm looking for a comedy, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like they didn't have that in the first movie, but one is great. I love all the Mission Impossibles. Yeah. Obviously, one is where it started. I will not disagree with Zach. I think he can probably.
I think the Simon Pegg character, the best thing about him, and of course, I'm forgetting his name in the movie too. Benji.
Yes.
He is the everyman. So it's like as the plots get crazier and more twisted and kind of don't make sense, he's the one who represents me sitting in a theater by like. Cruise explains something, Ethan Hunt explains something, or Ving Rhames, whatever it is, and then he's like, wait, what are you talking about? The way that you are when you're sitting in the crowd. So he's kind of there to almost dumb it down for everyone, and I think that becomes critical as we get into the crazier plot lines of the whole thing. Here's something I forgot. Emilio Estevez is in the first one. Remember that?
Yeah, for about 10 minutes.
Right, yeah. But like think about that as you're going, and I was trying to explain that to the kids. Like in 1996, like that's a legit movie star, and he must have been billed as like really being in the movie, and then he's just dead in an elevator shaft 11 minutes into the thing. You're like, holy crap! Like that had to be really jarring. It's not quite Drew Barrymore,
especially because
Drew Barrymore in Scream, but it's kind of that.
Right, and it's also like probably in between a couple Mighty Ducks movies.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like people are like, oh, there's Gordon Bombay, or his name was.
Right.
And now he's dead.
Right, he's dead in a freaking elevator shaft, like quickly, like right away. Yeah. There's nothing to indicate that that's about that, and he's just gone. So yeah, I forgot he was in the movie. The second that I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I was like, wait, I don't think he lasts very long because I don't remember this. Because that might only be like the second or third time I've seen that the first one. So I don't know. Whatever. We don't have to just dwell on Mission Impossible. I
will say, but one more thing on that though.
Okay.
I do appreciate another thing to appreciate in the earlier movies is the fact that Ving Rhames actually walked around and was semi-athletic. I mean, by the end, like I love Ving Rhames, but you could just tell, like, I mean, in these later movies, I mean, he doesn't even get out of a chair anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, in the last movie, he was laying in a hospital bed, and I hope he's okay health-wise. But I mean, you could tell. Like he's just gotten so much bigger, and he can't really get around much anymore. And they've kind of been limited in what they can do with him. But obviously, in the first movies, he was able to be a little more active.
That's right.
That was 30 years ago.
Yes, but you know what? He resembles like an old lineman. You know, like we've been around a lot of football people, and he resembles an old lineman that retires and is fine. And then you see him 20 years later, like, oh, this isn't what I was thinking at all.
Right.
So yeah, there's a little bit of that. I never think about him being immobile, but yes, he certainly seemed very mobile yesterday when I watched the 1996 version of him. It's 29 years ago. He was in better shape 29 years ago. So was Tom Cruise. So was I. So I get it. It's fine. Football's here, dude. We've got straight up 2 weeks. What is the 2 weeks of getting ready for a game like? Let's start with you. What are you up to right now as like sports information director is the term that is used. I mean, I know you've got a cooler job title than that, but you're in charge of making sure people know what the hell's going on with the teams. What is John Fuller's life like 2 weeks before kickoff?
Well, it's obviously working a lot with, with the media, setting up interviews. We actually have our media day tomorrow. We'll have the media out, the interviews. We'll have Coach Lembo's press conference. We'll do the team photo. We'll do things like that throughout the morning. So that's kind of our, that's our big event tomorrow. And then it's really just kind of ramping up. Like I said, we're 2 weeks away. So now it's, I got to get set up calls with our game we open up against Minnesota on August 28th, and our game is on FS1. Tim Brando doing the call.
Nice.
Tim Brando will be doing the call, so I got to get Coach Lembo and our coordinators, some players on the phone with him, kind of talk to them about our team so they know what they're talking about when they're broadcasting our game. So it's just a lot of that, just informing people of what's going on, getting game notes ready and things like that. But I'm excited. I mean, it's really, usually early, you get excited for the first couple of days of practice because they're out there practicing. But now we're at the point where, okay, let's just play a game.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks and we have another 2 weeks, and I'm really excited for this season to start. We had our first scrimmage this past Saturday night, and I think that went really well. I'm really anxious and excited for this season. I think we have a chance to do some special things.
I think from covering the Bills, my the pattern was always, I can't wait for camp to get here. Not just covering the Bills, but also hosting sports talk shows. It's like, all right, camp is here. We're going to have stuff to talk about. And you get about a day and a half into camp. You're like, oh, my God, can we get to a preseason game? And you get about 3 minutes into a preseason game. You're like, I forgot preseason football stinks. When can we get to a real game? So it builds up, and it feels like it's not, and you just got to keep waiting. But 2 weeks is not long. It's fine. And I'm going to spend a couple days in Saratoga. That's going to make time fly, too. And then it's time for the whole thing to get rolling. I'm excited about it. Speaking of getting people ready, also you're going to get Tim Brando and Pete Lembo together. Are you going to do Lembo, Brando, Lembo? You can do that?
Yeah, you might have to do that now. Yes.
Yeah,
very good.
I recommend that. Can you talk to me about the video I've seen recently of John Gruden on Barstool Sports opening up UB Bulls gear and then talking somewhat incoherently about our football program? What's going on there? What happened?
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm sure a lot of your listeners probably follow Barstool Sports, and on Barstool they have John Gruden is a contributor now on Barstool, and what he's been doing since probably the beginning of the summer is anybody that sends him gear from a college program, he'll open it up and he'll just basically spend 4 or 5 minutes talking about the program. So we saw that, and our equipment people were like, hey, we just send them some of our stuff. So sure enough, they sent him a box of this UB gear, and he spent 4 or 5 minutes talking about our program, and it was awesome. It's just pretty much, there's millions of people follow Barstool or are watching that,
yeah.
And it's just, kind of free advertising for our program. But the funny thing that happens in this video is that Pete, our head coach, Pete Lembo, writes a note to John Gruden puts it in the box. He says, hey, thanks. If you're ever in Buffalo and swing by a practice, please do so. And he puts his phone number at the bottom, and John Gruden kind of shows it to the camera. He's like, oh, his phone number's on there. And kind of puts it away real quick. But I guess it was up there long enough that there were enough losers in the world that froze it, and now Pete is getting calls and texts from random people that just that saw that because they saw his phone number.
Right.
Yeah.
Just,
I've been getting some texts and calls from people. I don't think anything bad and malicious, but it's just
right. No.
Hopefully it'll die down. But it's just, I don't know what. I guess that's why, on the old TV shows and movies,
555.
Every phone number is 555 because I've never been put a real phone number up there. People will call it.
What happens if you call 867-5309 today? Is that still a thing? I remember that being a thing where there was something set up there that you would call and you would get, like a Jenny situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming that is probably somebody's number right now, right? I don't know.
No.
If you call 716-865-309. I don't know, 867-5309.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it either, but I do want to do it. Somebody should do it.
So, all right.
Have somebody in
the
homework
chat.
assignments.
How about the people driving to New York City right now? One of you right now, call 716-867-5309 and see what happens. And then just let us know in the chat. I don't want to do it. I don't want to
We're
bother
running out of phone numbers, right? So I got to think they're not just not going to use that phone number because it's a song.
I think they can't use that one. Could you imagine? Like, I remember when I got my phone number. I don't know if you know my phone number off the top of your head, John, but a lot of people do. We don't know many phone numbers, but people know mine because it's so catchy. It's so easy. It's very much like a business thing. And I remember I initially got it in like 2003. I went into T-Mobile, and you just get a randomly generated phone number, and the kid working there was like, "Whoa, you got a good one. This is a good one." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And I saw it. I was like, "Oh, that is a really good one." And like, I don't know how often you give out your phone number and then receive a compliment about it as if you did something, but it happens like 20% of the time when I give somebody my phone number, they're like, "That's a really good number." Like, yeah, I know. It's crazy. So, like, I get a good number. If it spit out 867-5309, like, would you accept it or decline it if that was the number that was assigned to you by Verizon?
I think at this point you accept it, right? Nobody knows. We know that song, and it's
people know the song.
I don't think people know it like we used to know it. I don't think it's in every
the
day.
zeitgeist. Like 12-year-olds aren't calling it. That's what you're trying to avoid, right? You're trying to avoid 12-year-olds pranking you.
Exactly. That's why I think it's a number now. I really need to know. Please, I hope some of your listeners do this.
Someone will do it.
Yeah.
How do you like the schedule for this year? Because it seems really awesome. The part where there's only 5 road games is a big deal. I don't think we've ever had that before. And
not only that,
the shape of it is beautiful too.
Correct. So we start off at Minnesota, then we're home against St. Francis, then we're at Kent State. So we have 5 home games, and 2 of them are in our first 3 games. So after that, we only have 3 games for the rest of the season.
Road games.
Road games. Road games. Sorry. And like you said, the way the schedule sets up is nice because, our 2 toughest games are at home, the last 2 games of the season. Yep. So you have Miami, Ohio, then Ohio, which is those are 2 toughest games. So really, the schedule sets up great. The sky's the limit for this team, and I'm really excited.
All right, well, sky's the limit for John Fuller as a guest on Writer Radio. You're the best, man. I know you have a meeting in 4 minutes. It's right upstairs, but you've got time to get there. Fun fact: we just called, and it's Susan's personal cell phone. All right, thank you.
It's beautiful.
867-5309 Susan is. That's the follow-up. That's the sequel.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't have to do
that.
If
it's Jenny's sister. I don't know. We'll see.
Jenny was a friend of mine.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Later, man. It was John Fuller. All right. John Fuller. He's our senior Philly correspondent here on Writer Radio. We've got my man Ben Turnbull coming on in a few minutes to discuss what we've got coming up this weekend, which is our fantasy football draft. It's the 26th year of it. And I texted him, I think yesterday, I wanted him to come on to talk about it, and he wasn't available. And then this morning I was like, can we just talk about how cool our league is? Like, I kind of want to brag about how cool our league is, but I also want to just share with you that if you're just in a traditional fantasy football league, you're probably doing things, I won't say wrong, but like less fun. I don't think you can get more fun than the way that we do fantasy football. And they're like little twists to it that I don't want to reveal until Ben is on, but I will see Ben in person 25 hours from now or 26 hours from now, something like that. It's like a 4.5-hour drive, I would say, from here to the track, which is where we will meet a bunch of our friends. 3 of us coming in from Buffalo. It's usually 4 of us from Buffalo, but one of the guys can't do it this year. So he'll be conferenced in on a call. It'll be a giant pain. Someone will be responsible for drafting on Scott's behalf. I hope it doesn't end up being me, but if it is, that's fine. I couldn't go last year, and Jimmy drafted on my behalf. My team always stinks anyway. It doesn't even matter. He didn't draft on my behalf. He just spoke up for me. Like, we do an auction draft. I'm going to explain that. That'll be part of it. So he would, they were sitting around. They imported a bar, like an outdoor bar, to bring to my buddy Matt's house. And then, so people were sitting around. It was like they were at a bar, but they were in his yard. It was like a tiki bar setup, like a whole thing. There's a whole thing going on. And I was drafting right here. I was sitting right here, the same way I'm doing a show. in front of a computer in the basement. That's what I was doing. So I was like video conferenced in, and it doesn't work as well. It's hard to bid in an auction when everyone else is in person and you're online. And that's going to be the lot in life of our boy Scott, who's not going from Buffalo. But anyway, Ben's going to join me in a couple of minutes. I'm going to play a song so we can get Ben on the phone, and then we'll go from there. But again, to repeat, the phone number 716-867-5309 is Susan's personal cell phone. Leave her alone. She sounds really nice, says Meg. And I believe that. Did she make a joke on her voicemail? Like, does she say anything about, yes, this is Susan, it's not Jenny, of the Tommy Two-Tone one-hit wonder 1982 fame, whatever year that was. What year was that? There's probably a whole Wikipedia page about this. 867-5309. Wikipedia. 867-5309. Jenny. Performed by Tommy Two-Tone. Released on Tommy Two-Tone 2, 1981. Sorry, I missed by a year. Peaked at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. Led to a fad of people prank calling unsuspecting victims by dialing that number and asking for Jenny in what appears to be a remarkable coincidence. 867-5309 is a prime number. Even more remarkably, 867-5311 is also a prime, thus making those numbers examples of the rare twin prime phenomenon. I don't know what that means. I don't understand why a different number that's 2 numbers higher than the phone number is more remarkable than the phone number being a prime number. That's crazy. It's a 7-digit prime number. Why would some other number be? I don't know. I don't know what the twin prime phenomenon is. I mean, they're right near each other. I get that. According to the lead guitarist, Jenny's a regular girl, not a hooker. Friends of mine wrote her name and number on a men's room wall at a bar. I called her on a dare, and we dated for a while. I haven't talked with her since the song became a hit, but I hear she thinks I'm a real jerk for writing it. Well, yeah. I kind of think John Gruden's a jerk for putting Pete Lembo's number on the internet. He didn't do it on purpose. This Jim Keller guy wrote a song. Hey, I met a girl. Found her number on a wall. I'm going to put it in a song. Release it on Columbia Records. That's crazy talk. All right. It is clear she knew what she was doing with the phone number in her voicemail. All right. Thank you, Meg. 867-5309. Susan. Susan sounds great. I have to pick a song. Ah, crap. It's all Weezer again. I can't just keep playing Weezer songs. I can. Public Enemy, Weezer, Jason Isbell. I think I'm going to play Weezer. I'll play Weezer again. It's just a lot of Weezer this week. Sorry. Well, there'll be like a new theme next week. This one's fun. It's like 6 minutes long, but it's fun. We'll just do one song, then we'll have Ben at the other side. This one's called The Greatest Man That Ever Lived, Variations on a Shaker Hymn. All those words are in the title of this song. It's a ridiculous song, but that's what Weezer does. I like it. It's episode 144 of Writer Radio, August 14th, 2025. Stay tuned. Sorry for all the Weezer. Sorry about all the Weezer. There's so much Weezer lately. We'll do something different next, I promise. Ben Turnbull is our senior rugby correspondent. That's why he's on to talk about fantasy football, but not really, because we can talk about bananas. Ben, I got stuck talking about banana bread for like 40 minutes, and my two guests today are you and John Fuller, who was just on. John Fuller sent me a clip from The Simpsons with them baking banana bread for Apu and his family, and they've got a bunch of kids. There's like a whole thing. And then you sent me a picture of a book that you said I can borrow when I see you. The book is called Bananas, How the United Fruit Company Shaped the World. It's written by somebody named Peter Chapman. Why do you own this book? Why was it readily available? And can I really read it?
You can really read it. I really will give it to you. And don't ever apologize for too much Weezer. There is not a such thing as too much Weezer.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So listen.
Yeah.
About bananas.
Yeah.
They're very interesting. And you need to cut yourself some slack for not understanding what the background is with the bananas and why it's difficult to track down their history. Because the thing that you think is a banana and that you eat and you know is a banana is not the same fruit your grandparents ate as a banana.
Really?
Thanks to a fungus in the CIA.
What? You read this book, huh?
Well, no, I was gifted the book because I read a lot about bananas. And I don't know why I was particularly interested in bananas.
I don't know why I was so interested today, but I was, and now I am. What's going on?
I had read somewhere that the basis of this was me reading somewhere that the artificial flavorant that we taste as a banana, like if you get like a banana gum or a banana Laffy Taffy.
Yeah.
The reason why it doesn't taste like bananas is because it's based on the Gross Michael banana, which is the banana that existed in like the late 1800s.
Okay.
First came to our country. And then a fungus came and knocked it all out. And then around the 1950s, right after World War II, the CIA wanted to stop a lot of the South American countries from becoming communist. So it went in with United Fruit, which is now Chiquita, and found a different varietal of banana that was more resistant to this fungus, and got them to start selling them everywhere to make those countries be more capitalistic. And that the flavorant of banana is based on the Gross Michael banana that our grandparents ate, and not based on the Cavendish bananas that we eat now. And I'm sorry because you said you didn't want to talk about bananas anymore, but I don't have that many chances to talk about bananas.
Now I want to talk about them more, because here's the thing: when you talk about banana flavoring, you touched a nerve. It's not a nerve. I don't know. You hit me in the right spot here. I have always so. When you go to around here, it would be Anderson's is the most popular custard place. Sure. But like your Cone Kings of the world, you don't know about Cone King, but it was near my high school. Cone King always had, and they still do. They have vanilla, they have chocolate, they have twist, and then it used to be one other thing going on at any particular time, and it was basically vanilla ice cream flavored with something. But if it's banana or pistachio, I feel the same way about pistachio, but if pistachio or banana custard is available, I will choose it every single time. And I don't love bananas, but I love banana flavored things. And you're now explaining to me that I'm not insane. They're two different things. I happen to like the fake one better, which is not that crazy. Like, I like instant mashed potatoes better than actual mashed potatoes. I'm a little weird in that way. I don't like mashed potatoes, but the fake ones I like. Banana flavoring I love, and you helped explain why there is an actual difference there. So thanks.
Yeah, I love pistachios too. I love pistachios, and I love pistachio ice cream. I have some in my refrigerator right now, my freezer right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, move it to the freezer.
But it tastes like maraschino cherries.
Yes.
It doesn't taste like pistachios, and that's fine because they taste good too.
Yes, but you're right. That doesn't taste like... I like pistachios, and I like pistachio ice cream, and they don't seem related. And I like bananas, and I like banana ice cream, but they don't seem related. And this is all tying together. This is perfect. This is beautiful. I didn't bring you on to talk about bananas, Ben. I brought you on to talk about fantasy football, kind of, a little bit. Here's the thing. I could just turn on a microphone and talk incessantly about what makes our league more interesting than other leagues and more perfect and just frankly better than other leagues. We'll start with the fact that this will be draft number 26, but if you had to describe to someone why this is not just a typical thing, I feel like everybody's in a fantasy football league, but they go out to a bar and do a draft, and then it's over. There's just a lot of different stuff going on in ours that I think makes it better. How would you explain our league being better than other leagues?
That's funny, Brad. I was texting with our friend Jake, who's also in the league last night, and I was texting him about Hard Knocks. I was watching the second episode.
Yeah.
And my question to Jake was, are there guys out there that have been in the NFL 2 to 4 years and playing for teams other than the Bills who are watching Hard Knocks and just saying to themselves, why don't I play on a team where we have fun secret handshakes and everybody tells each other that they love each other and that everyone is nice to each other all the time and everyone elevates each other's play? And why doesn't that happen? Are there people out there like that? And I think the easiest way to answer your question, Brad, is that we have that in our league and we always have. It's not really about the football. It's about the intangibles. We change names every year. We change themes of our names every year. Sometimes somebody else makes up your name and makes up your logo for you. There's a presentation about the names and the logos at the beginning of the year. We have a relegation. There's interesting food. There's the track. There's euchre. It's everybody in our league is Josh Allen to the extent that we're making up fun nicknames and we have fun handshakes and we have all these little things that we do because everybody's trying. Like no one's just along for the ride. And I think that I'd be happy to discuss kickers or not kickers with you and the minutia of that. But for me, football is like my 10th favorite thing about fantasy football. There's 9 other things that are better than the football part of it for our league. And I think we concentrate on the non-football parts of fantasy football more than we concentrate. Brad, you're like, I don't want to blow your cover, but like, you're a professional sports guy. How do you do in our league?
I'm terrible. You know what, Ben? Hold on. I got to walk. You're going to sing a song. Do something. I got to walk away for 11 seconds because I need to grab the award that I won last year at the 25th anniversary thing. There's a certificate that's like 15 feet from me, but I have to set down my headphones to get it because in order to answer your question, I want to tell you how I was described by the league. So you're in charge right now, Ben. Say anything you want.
We're going back to bananas then.
All right,
going back to bananas.
Tell the people about bananas for a sec. Go ahead.
I don't want to lead anyone astray. The story about the flavorant being flavored after Gross Michael rather than the current Cavendish might be apocryphal. It might not be banana canon. But I'll tell you, I've found in my life of throwing out fun facts about bananas to people, I'm rarely called out on whether or not that's a true story about the flavorant being based on the Gross Michael rather than the Cavendish. So if you know one thing about bananas, true or not, if people are talking about bananas in a conversation you want to be involved in, throw that out there. That'll get you.
If you know one thing about Ben Turnbull, it's that you can just turn it over to him. Ben, I need you to talk for 30 seconds. Okay, no problem. About anything. It doesn't matter. All right, so here's the award I got last year. Everybody got an award. Mine is the Mario Mendoza Award for Mediocrity, Worst Average Finish. This certificate is presented to Brad Ryder, celebrating 25 years of excellence, which is in quotes. It is signed by Matt, our commissioner. There's a picture of a Mario Mendoza baseball card. Mendoza, famous for the Mendoza line, which is if you're hitting below 200, you're below the Mendoza line. He sucked. And I got a certificate here with a fantasy football logo and a commissioner's signature and a picture of Mario Mendoza to tell me I suck. So, yes, I'm very bad at the thing. You said it's your 10th favorite thing about like football is your 10th favorite thing about fantasy football. It doesn't crack my top 30 things about. I like hanging out with you guys. I enjoy the draft. I like the food. That sausage roll thing that Tammy makes when Jimmy makes garbage plates. I like those things. I like the track a lot. That's super fun. I just like Saratoga in general. I enjoy the drive. I like the trip out there with Ray and Dan and Scott, although Scott's not coming this year because he's in Ireland, maybe. But I like that part. I like that this year I'm not meeting at the park and ride. Ray's just picking me up at my house, which is awesome. I like that part.
Way to keep you on time.
No, come on. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at this now. We never have a problem. We're just Dan's going to Ray's house, then they're coming to my house. That puts me in the back seat. But that's all right. I can handle it. What else? Oh, I like the relegation part. I like this part. So relegation is it's a 14-team league, by the way. So if you just look at any of our rosters, it's going to look terrible compared to your roster in your 10-team league because we're taking all the players. Like the draft is long. It takes forever, and by the end of it, I hate my team every single year, and I'm right because my team always stinks. I've won a championship once in 25 years of this. I've got one trophy or one, my name on the trophy once. But I think if I were telling the story of the league, my favorite way to describe it is that one year, so we had 14 people in the league, and the 1 year one guy moved or just dropped out. I don't remember exactly why it happened that suddenly we were down to 13 people. But in order to get that one extra spot, we had 3 people that wanted to go. Here's something different about our draft. Do people who are not in your league ever come to your draft? Because people just get together and show up, and we'll just have random people that we haven't seen in 20 years pop into draft weekend. There's, somebody's up to something with secret text messages and, hey, why don't you come to this thing? And so there's always a surprise visitor that's not even in the league. But all right, getting back to the other thing. We had 13 people. We want to get back to 14. We had 3 people all competing for a spot in the league. And how would you describe that process? Do you remember that process? I know there's a written test. There were physical challenges, feats of strength. Right.
There was how much water could you hold in your mouth at one time?
Yes.
I mean, completely arbitrary, having nothing to do with fantasy football whatsoever.
Right. But you had to compete to get into the league. Yeah, that's right. There was
because I think all of the other things came out relatively even, but the speech really put one candidate over the top.
Yeah, well, as it turns out, of the 3, 3 were trying to get in. 1 got in at that moment, and I think the next year is when I came up with the relegation thing because, like I said, I don't even like the football part of this. I just like hanging out. So I came up with the idea, we do an auction draft too. That's a massive difference between this league and regular leagues where you just, I'm picking third, I'll take Christian McCaffrey. Like that. No, not that. Auction draft makes it way cooler, way more interesting, way better. But that was the year that I came up with, hey, how about whoever finishes in last place doesn't get to play the next year and instead has to run the draft? Because part of the auction is that you need somebody to run the auction. So we instituted at that point you finish in 14th, you're out for a year, you still come, you run the auction, and then whoever finishes in last, they'll do it next year, you get back in the league. You take a break from having to... I invented this because I had lost. I was like, this is a perfect way for A, to get another one of our friends in the league, and B, for me to not have to do this, but C, I still get to go and be a part of it. So that's one of the other differences, I would say, is the relegation / auction thing, but the competition that was required just to become a part of it, which I remember as being a hell of a day at H's house.
I'll tell you what's really great about the auction draft is that there are a third of the guys in our league who watch a lot of football and really know all the football stuff. And then there's the rest of us. And I'm probably furthest at the other end of the spectrum. Like, unless I'm watching a Bills game and my son wants to, I don't follow any sports. I'm not a sport guy. And I can show up to the draft knowing nothing. I don't even know who won the Super Bowl last year. I don't even care. But for an auction, when it's my turn to put somebody up, I try to find someone. I like to put up guys who have 2 first names, like Greg Olson. I like to put Greg Olson up there. And it for $1. And look, if Greg Olson broke his leg 2 weeks ago in training camp and I don't know about it, it doesn't really matter. Then I got him for $1. But by and large, is like you put somebody up there and then people start bidding. As long as I'm kind of looking around like when Joey and Chandler got the mustaches so they could look like Tom Selleck. I'm kind of looking around at the other people who know stuff, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm doing the thing too. And I don't get relegated, and I don't even know who these people are.
You've never been relegated?
I've never been relegated, and I generally finish kind of in the middle of the pack. A few years ago, I was looking at the statistics of it to try to figure out, like, I've been doing this thing. It would be nice at some point in my lifetime I could win once. So, like, what does it take to win? And with our league being as thin as it is, and against my objection, not having kickers anymore, really it's using the waiver wire after the first and second weeks of the season and picking up who's hot and getting out anybody who might be injured. And then I realized that really takes a lot of work to follow a lot of games to do that properly. And those are the guys that tend to win, are the guys that, like, you could have the worst draft in the world. If you use the waiver wires properly in the first 2 weeks, that's who is going to ultimately win the league. And I'm not going to do that, and I accept that.
No, I'm not either.
That's fine.
I'm going to forget to turn in lineups. I'm going to play guys on bye. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I love the draft. It's fun. And then I've got my team, and then I'm bored with fantasy football by the time I get home because the part that I like already happened. So I don't know. It was fun to have Josh last year. I don't know. Is he going to be the first player that goes up for auction again? Probably he will. Like, that's the first name everybody. It's because you guys mess with the Buffalo people, but now you've become sort of a Buffalo person, so you're involved in that too. Like, I don't know, man.
Look, I'm getting Khalil Shakir, or I'm getting James Cook, or I'm getting Josh Allen.
Right.
Maybe Dawson Knox, maybe Dalton Kincaid. I don't know. Maybe
something.
all of them. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You want something. You want a little bit of skin in the Bills.
And that's the best thing about the I mean, other than being able to go into the draft wholly unprepared, which is the best thing about the auction draft. The second best thing about the auction draft is you just have a favorite player. Or in my case, my son at the time who was 7 was like, you got to get Josh Allen. I'm like, okay, I'll get Josh. I mean, You can have anyone you want. No one can take that from you. It's just what you're willing to do for it.
Yep. All right, good. Is there anything else that I wanted to do? Oh, have you by any chance watched the new Jim Jeffries special on Netflix?
I have not. Do you recommend it?
I highly recommend it. I highly recommend everything he's ever done. Are you familiar with him? Australian comedian? Yeah. Okay.
Sure. Does he talk about cheesecake or bananas?
I don't think he talked about either one of them, but he did indirectly reference what I think is one of our best fantasy football team names ever. So you mentioned that some years we pick, you just get assigned somebody else and you pick a team name for them. So there was a year that I believed I was assigned our friend Ray, not the great Ray Walter, but the also great Ray Sanchez. I thought I had Ray's team, and I used Photoshop. And I don't want to say I'm not proud of this because I'm very proud of this, but whatever. We like to offend each other. It's fun. So the team name I chose for Ray was Hitler Ruined My Mustache. Remember that one?
I do. And it's a shame for Ray that when he grows in a mustache, it lends itself to that criticism.
Well, I used Photoshop to make it smaller. But I put a little mustache on Ray, and then I put his face on a helmet, and it was Ray with a little Hitler mustache. And I thought it was hilarious, and then it became even more hilarious when I didn't even have Ray's team. It was Mark Walter. So our buddy Matt, his brother was in the league for a while. I think he's the one that dropped out when we had to have the feats of strength thing. Yep. I had Mark's team, so I named Mark's team Hitler Ruined My Mustache, and his logo was Ray with a tiny little mustache. And in the latest Jim Jeffries special, he has a whole lengthy bit about how Hitler ruined tiny mustaches. And why can't I have a tiny mustache if I want one? Just because one bad guy had a tiny mustache, what if it pulls together my horrible face? And that's the thing that would make me look. And there was a whole thing, and I just thought, wow, it is fantasy football week. I watched that yesterday. I watched more television yesterday than I think I did in the last 2 months combined. Want to hear all the things I watched? I watched Mission Impossible. I watched the entire Mission Impossible first movie with Zach and Nate. I watched a full game of the Little League World Series. I watched 2 episodes of Hard Knocks because I watched episode 2. I watched half of it yesterday morning at like 7 before my show, and then I went back to sleep for a while, and then I watched the whole thing at night. And my wife hadn't seen that one or the first one, so we watched that, and then we finished that one and watched the other one. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I haven't watched the new Kill Tony yet. Kill Tony had Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker on it, so I need to watch that. That's 2 hours long. But when I went to go watch that downstairs, I realized the new Jim Jeffries special was out. So I watched Jim Jeffries, then I watched Kill Tony. So Mission Impossible, Little League World Series, 2 episodes of Hard Knocks, Jim Jeffries, and Kill Tony. That's a lot of television, dude.
You had there.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Yeah,
good choice. Good choices.
Yeah, it was all of it was great. But are there people that just do that? Like, people watch TV a lot more than I do. To me, that's a crazy day. Granted, it spans from 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon all the way till like 2 in the morning. That I was watching stuff. But people just do that, right? People just sit and watch television. It's weird.
I think that they do, from the conversations that I have on the sidelines of events of who's watching what, and I have a hard time figuring out how people are keeping up with it while also having jobs.
Yeah.
And grocery shopping and cooking some food and maybe exercising now and again.
Cut the lawn, go in the pool. I don't know. Yeah.
Look, we all have days like that where, like, maybe you don't feel well, or it's raining out, or it's super hot out, or whatever. Like, I would not say that there are not days where I've had a day like you have, but that's not my normal day.
No, it's not typical. But I do feel good about it because I watched the movie with the kids. I watched the Little League game with one of the kids. I watched the other stuff with this is not just me in the basement. The late night stuff was Jim Jeffries. That's not for them. Kill Tony is not for them. I did that stuff late. But the rest of it was done with the kids. And I spent like an hour in the pool with my youngest playing catch with the football. We were both trying to throw left-handed. He's way better at it than I am. But that was kind of fun. We just walked around. And so we get in the pool yesterday, Ben, and I don't know, within like 3 minutes, I think it might rain. And it absolutely poured for like 20 minutes. The only thing that meant was I had to put something over my speaker and my phone because I had a Bluetooth speaker out there so we could listen to music. I did that, and then we just stayed in, and it was really pretty fun to be out in the pool in the pouring rain. And then it ended after like 15 minutes or something, and then we were fine. But, yeah, we were swimming in the rain yesterday, me and Drew. It's fun.
I love it. Love swimming in the rain. We have a pool as well. There were, 6 15-year-olds playing basketball in the pool till like 10 o'clock last night. There's a lot of fun that can be had in the pool, and I'll tell you, no rain would have stopped them.
No, hell no. All right. Hey, Ben, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. See you tomorrow.
Isn't that exciting?
Look, it feels like Christmas Eve.
It really does. I can't wait. I'm excited. I got to do some laundry and do some packing, but I will see you tomorrow. It's Ben Turnbull, who is our senior rugby correspondent. You can't be my senior rugby correspondent and then talk about how little you care about sports, Ben. I know what you mean, though. I get it. All right. That's Ben. We got to take a quick time out so that I can... my God, where's the other stuff? I put other stuff, and then I go back to it, and there's just a pile of Weezer here. Hold on. I'm picking a different... This is what I was going to play. Okay. All right. We're doing Kings of Leon, then probably Weezer. So much Weezer. Stay tuned. It's Writer Radio. This portion of Writer Radio has been deleted for the podcast version. If you want to hear everything that happens, listen live weekdays 10 to noon at writerradio.com. I played one extra song there. I played 4 instead of 3. Usually I play 3. That was Soul Coughing, Super Bon Bon. We heard Take Me Away from Ween. We heard The Pot from Tool, and we heard Crawl from Kings of Leon. All those things happened since I last spoke with you into this microphone here at the conclusion of episode 144 of Writer Radio. We're not quite done yet. It's 11:49 in the a.m., and I promise to go till 12, and then sometimes we go way beyond that, but it's, generally speaking, we're looking at 12-ish, okay? A couple quick things I want to get to. I was just kind of going through. I read a story. Cheektowaga home listed for $1. Real estate broker selling the home also owns it and says it's a new marketing strategy. If you're searching for a new home or just like looking at listings, you may have noticed a local home listed for $1 popped up last week in Cheektowaga. It's not fake. Broker says his strategy has been tried 18 to 24 times in the U.S. this year, but this is the first time he says it's happening here. He hopes it will show what the home is really worth. Said we did windows, doors, floor, furnace, air conditioning, hot water tank, electric, concrete driveway, lighting, trim, every outlet, every switch. It's 141 Diane Drive in Cheektowaga. Owns this guy, John Spashek. Owns it with his business partner. He's also the associate real estate broker selling it. Setting up a business called Born Again Transformations, and we completely transformed the house in a very short time. Since the listing, roughly 1,100 square foot, 3-bedroom, 1-bath home has gotten more than 21,000 views on Zillow. It's listed for $1. Says what we've done by doing a $1 listing is we removed all the guesswork, and we're making the point that list price is not any longer indicative of a home's value. Okay. Buyers are only going to pay what the market value is in their eyes anyway, and so we figured why not prove that to the market. Says this marketing strategy is also getting the attention of people in real estate circles. The quote is, a portion of our proceeds are going back to charity. We want to improve the community. It's what we do. We do this full time. We're really excited about it. Offers are due by Monday at noon. Several have already come in. He's confident it will end up selling at the top of what all the comps are in the neighborhood, and that's the whole story. So, all right, let's look this thing up. Let's see what we got. I don't know where Diane Drive is. It sounds to me like a like Cleve Hill area, but I'm not positive. All right, let's see. 141 Diane Drive, Cheektowaga. 225 is what comes up. It is off of Sable Palm. I know that place. Where are we here? This is all off of Dick Road. All right. So like behind. Oh, okay. I got it. Like behind the Wegmans, there's a whole neighborhood behind Wegmans, Dick Road, and George Urban in Depew/Cheektowaga, that area. There's a whole neighborhood back there. If you get in there, it's very difficult to get out because it doesn't. Nothing from that neighborhood cuts through to Genesee. So let's say you live north, like I do, and you're in that neighborhood, and you think, "Oh, I'll just shoot through here." Nope, that does not happen. So it's back in there behind Wegmans. And now I want to find the actual listing. Let's see if it's exciting or not. 141 Diane Drive, Cheektowaga, Zillow. There it is. 36 photos for sale for $1. 3 beds, 1 bath, 1,140 square feet. Here's what it says. Because apparently logic has left the building, this completely transformed home is being listed for only $1. You may just need the change that is in your couch. Yes, you got that right. This home is being marketed for $1. It's interesting. I like this strategy. There's a thing where you just, let's say a house is, you're expecting to get $200,000 for a house. You don't list it for $200,000. You might list it higher than that and then drop it. You might list it lower than that and expect it to get pushed up. They got all different plans. It's crazy. You have to. I appreciate the outside the box thinking here. Right? So, like, thinking about when we bought our house. We bought this house in 2019. And it was real. My wife wanted to live in this specific neighborhood. This is where she wanted to be. There's a park that is 10 houses from where we are. She wanted to be as close to that park as possible. That was like that was ground zero for the search. Like, we're looking surrounding this park. There's a baseball diamond. There's a playground. Kids don't really use the playground anymore, but it's a big open space where there's basketball. There's, they can play football, whatever. There's tennis courts. It's all right there. And we're 10 houses away from it. But that was like ground zero. But it was impossible to like really be in the hunt unless you had cash offer and you're ready to overbid everyone. And we were not equipped to do that. We wanted a house. We could afford a house in the neighborhood. We just couldn't afford to fight with somebody to get a house in the neighborhood. You follow? So I came up with an idea. I'm willing to share this now because I'm not buying a house anytime soon. I'm fine. We're just going to stay here. But in order to get a leg up, my thought was estate sales. Don't wait for a house to be listed. Look for estate sales. Estate sales tend to mean someone passed away. That house is now vacant. And once they clean it out, they're probably going to sell it. So I started going to estate sales and asking questions. And it was pretty effective. We got a little early look at some properties that were not yet listed. People were very happy to jump to the next step. So it's a little hint. If you're in the market, estate sales are a thing. I then switched it to garage sales. I then thought, all right, if there's a garage sale, that might be an estate sale, that they're not calling an estate sale. Or what you're going to do is you're going to walk in and you're going to find somebody who's going to be interested, maybe, in talking about the neighborhood. And that's how we ended up finding our house. I went to a garage sale down the street from where we now live. And I said, hey, I'm not interested in purchasing anything here, but excuse me, nice woman who lives in this home. What if I wanted to live in your neighborhood? How would I do that? And she, this lady Mary down the street, stood in the driveway with me for 20 minutes, just pointing at houses. All right, they've got young kids. They're not going anywhere for a while. Their oldest just moved out, left for college. I think they might be, you probably got to wait like a year on that one. And this one, this person's old, and that person is in a nursing home, and that, like all the stuff, they broke it down, and it got to a point where I came back the next day and just walked around the neighborhood and started talking to more neighbors, and then ended up talking to the guy who lives next door to me now about how I'm like, I don't even live here. He's like, oh, beautiful day, isn't it? Like, yeah, I'm just walking around looking for a house. He's like, why don't you buy this one next to me? I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, come on. Larry's got a key. So then we end up going to Larry's house. Larry lets us in, look around. It's not even listed for sale. We end up pursuing it, finding out the owner. It was a wife and a husband, and the wife had passed away, and the husband's in California, but hadn't gotten around to selling the house yet. And we got in touch, and actually, we bought a house. They ended up listing it officially, and we had to, bid against other people in theory. But we put an offer in the first day, and we got it. It worked. So we didn't get to, I was like, hey, this thing's not even listed. Like, let's do it that way. That part didn't quite work, but we did get inside information just by being a little more aggressive. So listing a house for $1, that's a creative strategy. I like it. I'm going to read more of the thing. This all brick beauty has been so redone, even the original bricks are wondering who they are anymore. All right, I like this guy. Whoever's doing this is good. Listing a home for $1. It says finished basement, all brick beauty, rear patio, recessed lighting, custom trim, new sump pump, new doors. Let's break it down. New electrical service, new furnace, new central air, new hot water tank, all new kitchen cabinets, quartz countertops, undermount sink, faucet, backsplash, floors and fixtures, new bathroom shower tile, faucet, vanity sink, faucet, vanity, sink faucet, tile floor, fixture, all brand new. New luxury vinyl plank floors throughout the rest of the home. Luxury vinyl, nice. That's the good stuff right there. All new doors and custom trim throughout. All new windows, new recessed lighting, fixtures, ceiling fans, all new switches and outlets throughout. Did you put the screws facing all in the same direction? You better have. All freshly painted, new finished basement with comfy new carpet, giving you plenty of extra living space for whatever your heart desires. So it's not just 1,100 square foot. It looks like it's a ranch. So that's 1,100 plus 1,100 of basement. That's pretty good. Rear patio has been, brand new concrete driveway, walkway, and rear patio with new sliding glass door. This home is ready to give new life to you. 3 exclamation points. So they mean it. All for less than a tank of gas. But who needs gas? You'll never want to leave. Square footage has been adjusted from public record by the broker. Additional 750 square feet in finished basement. Offers due Monday, 8/18 at noon. So you got time. It's been here for 8 days. It's got 37,000 views, and 1,400 people have saved it, roughly. So check it out. $1 house. It's probably going to go for more than that. But 141 Diane Drive, Cheektowaga. I'm going to look at the pictures now. Yeah, I'm just going to go through this Zillow listing and see. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Looks great. It is luxury vinyl. Those luxury vinyl plank floors, they weren't messing around. Looks great. Looks perfect. Little house, but it's, I want to see this basement. Let's see what the basement looks like, because I like basements. I'm not going there. I'm sticking here. Although we still play baseball in Cheektowaga. Maybe we shouldn't have gone as far north as we did. Oh, the basement looks awesome. They did the thing where they didn't finish the ceiling. They just painted everything black. And it looks good. It's worth considering. Just painting everything black. It cleans it up nice. And it's a good looking basement. They got a cool little nook thing. Yeah, this is nice. Pretty good. Little yard, little patio in the back. You're doing okay for $1. Can't go wrong. Again, it will probably go for more than $1. Several offers are in, and I bet none of them are for $1. I bet people bid higher. I should have left it open. I closed it already. I don't know what houses go for in that neighborhood, but I'm sure it'll be like a regular price, but it's a fun, interesting twist, and you get the story on the news. Like that's marketing. That's great. Good job. That's all. It's noon. Lionel Taylor died. I saw Broncos great. Lionel Taylor died, and I didn't know who that was, so I looked him up. He's the first player in pro football history with 100 catches in a season. He did that in the AFL. He, I believe, started the first year of the AFL. He was a longtime assistant coach as well. He was a receivers coach with the Steelers, won 2 Super Bowl rings with the franchise, guiding Lynn Swann and John Stallworth. That's pretty good. He was the NFL's first black offensive coordinator when he took on the Rams OC job in 1980. He played for the Bears, Broncos, and Oilers in a career that ran from 59 through 68. He was a star in Denver, though, playing for the squad from the franchise's first season in 1960 through 1966. 3-time AFL All-Star, led the league in receptions 5 times, including his 100-catch campaign in 1961. And he was a member of the inaugural 1984 Broncos Ring of Fame in 1961. 1,176 yards, and then an all-time single-season receptions record in 14 games with 100. So there you go, Lionel Taylor. I didn't know who. I kind of have heard the name, but I didn't know anything about him, and that's cool. I mean, it's not cool he's dead, but you get what I'm saying. Seems like Seems like an important player in Broncos history. There was something else that I was very tempted to click on. Oh, Dean Cain. We talked about Dean Cain last week. Dean Cain trying to join ICE, and Scott had a theory that Dean Cain believes he actually was or is Superman. He's really just an actor and a former football player. He played at Princeton, and then he was drafted by the Bills. Was he drafted, or was he just an unsigned free agent? Let me look that up. I'm sorry. All right, we got to do that. I don't want to mislead you here. Wikipedia. Dean Cain. Was he drafted? Football. Free safety. Began his career as a cornerback, but you know how that works out. And season opener, who cares about that? Senior in 87. He set the 1 AA record for most interceptions in a season with 12, which stood until 2002. After graduation, career, signed as a free agent. All right, yeah, the Bills did not draft him. But yes, fake Superman used to be a Bill. He was briefly a Bill. All right. Ex-Superman actor Dean Cain crashes out when grilled about joining ICE. He says, I'm a former professional football player, too, trying to defend himself from criticism. Former Superman actor Dean Cain had a meltdown while trying to defend himself and President Donald Trump's aggressive immigration enforcement after becoming a target for public mockery for joining ICE. The idea that somebody who's not trained would join ICE and join these guys that are putting on masks and jumping out of U-Hauls at a Home Depot and nabbing people, like, it's a horrible policy. It's un-American, said somebody named Tim Miller from The Bulwark. He was on Piers Morgan Uncensored. Does Piers Morgan need to be censored? This post says, I think that Dean Cain wants to turn the country into something that looks more like an authoritarian country. It is un-American. All right, I'll hit play. I'll hit play on this. Hold on, let's see. Let's do anything for us. Try it.
In any other country, you've got to find a way to legalize yourself or self-deport, or else ICE will come and they will deport you.
Okay, Timothy, your response to that?
And this is crazy. What he's saying, and I disagree with the tactics and the policy. The tactics have been, again, brutal. I think that Dean Cain wants to turn the country into something that looks more like an authoritarian country. We have negative people coming in, people going out. We have people in masks. Look, Dean was on Fox the other night, and Jesse Waters asked him, will you hop out of ICE vans and start apprehending guys? And Dean said he'd be willing to do that. This is crazy. This is not a TV show. Like, this is real life. The idea that somebody who is not trained would join ICE and join these guys that are putting on masks and jumping out of U-Hauls at a Home Depot and nabbing people, like, it's a horrible policy. It is un-American.
That's it. It just ends there. All right. Cool. Cain has been made the butt of many jokes for his decision. Multiple people online have pointed out the irony that an actor who played Superman in the 1990s TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, would be joining an agency making constitutionally questionable arrests. I don't find that ironic at all. None of this article makes much sense. Like, that was just two people who disagreed about ICE and the policy. I'm not like a huge Dean Cain fan, although I will say last Friday, Scott comes on the show and starts talking about Dean Cain being crazy and thinking he's Superman, and it was really funny. And then 2 hours later, I listened to the Adam Carolla show where he had Dean Cain on, and he's like, Superman's here. Like, I like Carolla, but it was fine. Like, I listened to it. It was all right. Let's see. Meanwhile, late-night comedians such as John Oliver and Bill Maher have poked fun at ICE's desperation in hiring the former actor. Why is that desperate? Despite the criticism, he praised the agency. Can I just go back to say the headline was ex-Superman actor Dean Cain crashes out when grilled about joining ICE. And nothing I heard there at all sounded like him crashing out. It's like, yeah, I'll work there. And the guy's like, really? And he's like, yeah, that's the whole story. But this is Huffington Post, so, you know. Despite the criticism, he praised the agency. He said, you're going out and you're villainizing myself. You're going out and you're villainizing these ICE agents who are trying to uphold the law. These are wonderful men and women, he told Morgan. Yeah, all right. There's not much to this story. I'm gonna end. I don't have a lot to say. Yeah, they disagree. That's not crashing out though. Just Somebody saying something you don't agree with is not crashing out. I'm going to be done now. A song. What are we going to play? What do I have on here that's not Weezer? I gotta get ahead of this. The first thing I'm going to do when I end the show is load up the songs and save them so that it's not just nothing but Weezer for the rest of my life. I like Weezer, but I don't want all the songs to be Weezer. We need Public Enemy. Thanks for listening to episode 144 of Writer Radio. Tomorrow's show will be different. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but tomorrow is tomorrow's a travel day. So you're getting either me from the road in the back of Ray Walters' car. Maybe we could have Ray on the show, since he'll be driving. Or you're getting some pre-recorded. I'm not positive, but there will be a show from 10 to noon. It'll be Writer Radio episode 145. I might turn off the mic, turn off the live stream, and just do another show right now, and then save it for tomorrow. That might happen. It'll sound fine. It'll be great. Please tune in anyway, even though I won't. I'll listen to it with you. That's what I did when we drove to Cedar Point. It was all pre-recorded. I was playing it from a computer in the back of a car. It was all pre-recorded segments, and I was listening. I was listening along. People were writing in. I was participating in the chat. It was great. So it might be something like that. I don't know. But the bottom line is, Saratoga weekend. I'll be at the track tomorrow, post time 1 o'clock. I will be there. I want to be there. We always try to get there in time for the early daily double. And sometimes we make it and sometimes we don't. I'm hoping tomorrow's good. We're leaving at like 8. We should be fine. But TBD. All right. So I will talk to you tomorrow in some form. And then I'll talk to you for real, like live, real life thing on Monday. And that'll be, Scott Wilson will be on that. Scott is normally on Mondays and Fridays. I don't know if I'm going to record something with Scott. I'm going to have Scott on live tomorrow from the back of Ray's car. I don't know. Just telling you it could be a little different tomorrow. I'm going to play Public Enemy and say goodbye. Bye.
What are you doing for lunch? I don't know. I have a turkey sandwich. We're going to go around the corner. I think you should come with us. This is a great place. I don't know. Okay. We brought you a shirt.
Will you get out of here? Will you get out of here? Will you? Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?